Hello, amazing people. My name is Elizabeth Giles, coming to you from Stamping Unicorns. We are going to be showcasing the My Meadow Congratulations panel card. This is a video series that is featuring the My Meadow stamp set, which can be found in the mini January through June 2020 catalog. You can see here all the shapes and shading. And I'm also featuring the Here's a Card Cling Mount stamp set. This can be found in the annual catalog with all these different wonderful sayings. The annual catalog is the 19 through 20 annual catalog. And then right now we are going to do this lovely card, and I'm going to take you through the steps to do that. So let's set this stuff aside and we will get started. So first things first, let's go through our sizes. So we are using Rococo Rose for the card base. So this is 8.5 by 5.5. And then you are just going to fold that in half and use your bone folder to burnish the edge so it's nice and crisp. All right, then the other sizes we have Whisper White, and this, and you'll kind of see here, but it is 5 1/4 by 4. Then we have Rococo Rose Matte, which is also 5 1/4 by 4. And then just a smaller piece of smoky slate scrap. We will set these aside. First, we're actually going to stamp the inside of our card. When you're doing a design like this, where the whole front is going to get covered, when you stamp the inside first, you can tell if you're going to need to use your inside as the actual outside or vice versa. So the sayings that we're using on this card is, congratulations on that thing you did. I'd give you a standing ovation, but here's a card instead. We are stamping this in basic gray, and since this is the inside, we are just going to stamp the inside saying basic gray right in the middle. And that's a pretty good job there. Now, to add just a little decoration, we are going to get our tulips and stamp them on the inside. I didn't have those prepared, so pardon me. We'll just take these little guys off. This is Stamping 101, right? All right, so we have some tulip leaves and then some tulip buds. Now the green we're using is Pear Pizzazz, and I'm just going to add that right there. And then we're using Rococo Rose for the tulips, and that'll have a nice tone on tone. So if you wanted to, you could add several little groups here, maybe one over here. Or if you don't want any at all, you don't have to. Okay, so that's enough for the inside. So let's crease that back down, and we're going to set this aside. And we're going to stamp this off so that I don't get the ink everywhere. And we're just going to peel that off because we need these little pieces first. We do use quite a few of the pieces in this little project, but I think it just adds a wonderful element. So you guys saw my little trick here. We are using the rectangle stitch dies. So when you open this up, I'll kind of show you the pack here. We are using the dies that are over here, and we're using the 3 biggest ones in this size. So they're a little bit more elongated. And what I did is I placed them out on this sheet, so and kind of kept them uniform and used a little washi tape to keep them in place. I ran them all through at once. Now we're just going to go ahead and punch these out. And you might be wondering, why did I space these out? Because I am going to make an alternative and use this as my frame. So you can kind of see maybe a little shaker card. Who knows? We'll see. I have a couple of these now, so and then the nice thing is, like, if you're going to make a few of these cards, you can keep the washi tape on here and it's already spaced out for you. So that's just a little tip and trick. So what we're going to do with these guys here is we're going to line them up so that our middles are centered. And they're just going to butt right up next to each other. So you can see here it's got a uniform spacing on the top and the bottom compared to the piece that's next to it. Now we're going to use this larger splotch piece as our grass. What we're going to do though, before we stamp it directly on there, is we're going to stamp it off and then use what we call second string, which just means we stamped it off once so that we get a lighter image. Now, if these shifted at all, you just want to scoot those back together. And again, we're going to do that. Now this time I'm going to stamp it this way and kind of just nestle them together. And it's okay to have a little overlapping. It is a grassy knoll, so you can see that right there. Looks very good. The next element we're going to add is the tree. So here we're going to just use early espresso, and this is just a single large tree. So ink that up and bring our tree. And this is going to be the main focal point on the first panel. So you kind of want to get it off to the side, not like right smack in your face. And then we're going to add our leaves. So once again with Pear Pizzazz, and all you're going to do is stamp, stamp, stamp. So to get that variegated look like leaves have, you're just going to continue to stamp away. And you can add as much or as little leaves you want. I tend to just keep going until I feel like it's filled in enough. I think that looks pretty darn good. All right. The next element we're going to add is the wheelbarrow base. Here I have the wheelbarrow base. We're doing that in early espresso. So that's going to coordinate with our tree. And the thing that I really like is the way that the curve of the grass goes. You can literally just line that straight up with that. Now make sure you press down good enough, but don't wiggle it too much because you do want to get that impression on both of those panels without leaving a little space. If you do leave a space, you can bring this away and line it up so that you get that perfect impression. Next, we're going to add the wheelbarrow base. This is in basic gray. And you just line this edge up and that edge up with that right there and that little spot right there. Now this is a little tricky when I have the camera in front of me. Ooh, yay! That turned out well. And then lastly, with this little piece, or with the wheelbarrow before I switch my stamps over, is the flowers. Now I found it was easier to stamp the flowers first and then add the leaves to it afterwards. So we'll go ahead and place those right in the wheelbarrow. Woo! Voila! Now let's switch some of these out. I'm just going to place them right there. Get the tulip bulbs. Who says you can't get a little dirty while you are crafting? Now there's lots of fun elements with these stamps that can be very versatile. As you see here, this I use on another card, which you will see, as water. All right, so now we're just going to add our tulips. And really, you can just put this stuff wherever you want. I kind of wanted to have something transition over between the panels on this side. Ooh, just throw that right at you guys. All right. And then our leaves for the wheelbarrow. Do I have them backwards? Nope, I don't. I can't tell because it's kind of a glare, but it is stamping. Woo! All right. And then lastly, just a little element of grass. Now the grass I feel is just to make it all inclusive. And I'm not entirely sure where it is. So by the power of magic, these ones have the grass on it. See right in there. Oh, here it is. Just that little piece. Yeah, see. So cute, so little, but it adds so much. All right, so let's go ahead and move these off of there. Oh, and very important to use this mat when you're stamping with these photopolymers. It just makes it much more of a crisp image. Okay, so next we're going to add some dimensionals to the backs of our panels. And what this will do is bring it up off the base so that we can put that ribbon underneath. And we're only putting it towards the top and the bottom because we don't want to give that ribbon any cause to not sit properly on our card. Okay, now let's get our card base. And we're going to take the Rococo Rose mat and run it through the embossing folder. So when I run my stuff through, I always line up my card with that little stripe there and then run it through. And this is what it looks like after we have that lovely subtle embossing folder. So it just gives a little dynamic. We're going to go ahead and glue this puppy down to our card base. I like using the Tombow glue on here, the multi-adhesive Tombow glue, because it gets in all the little nooks and crannies and kind of fills that in and really adheres it to the card itself. And then you can just kind of move it into the correct place. All right, next we're going to take our white flax ribbon, and I've pre-cut it to kind of go over our card. The end here, we're just going to fold in half and then take our snips and snip off the end to kind of create that banner. All right, there we go. Now to tape, I like to just take some tape and run it, and this will just go right over the top of that. See, you can't even tell anything. Now we're going to add our panels. And you're just going to kind of space them out. Now, when you're putting these on, don't press them down yet because you will have a little playroom with them if you just set them there and get everything lined up. All right, see, I think I need to move this one just a little closer because I have a little gem I want to put on the end there. Okay, now I'm going to push these down. Lastly, we're going to stamp on our smoky slate, our congratulations, in basic gray. And by the power of magic, we're going to cut that out with our paper snips. Voila! And add congratulations with the multi-purpose glue. And lastly, we're going to add our faceted gem, or dots. I keep calling them gems. We're just going to pick that middle one right up and put it on the end of our banner. There you are. So here is another card in this series for the My Meadow card class. All right, you guys, remember, make every creation unique. Have a great day.